I don't wipe my ass when I poop. Toothpaste is a scam. Well,
Okay.
it's not just Pepsodent. Toothpaste, close up, Colgate, all the they come and tell you we've done a new super formula. It's a lie.
Hello, everyone. My name is Walks, and I'm here with my co-host,
Phinci.
Salom Phinci. That's right. Today we're just going to be talking about daily life habits. Phinci's life habits. That may seem unpopular, a little bit weird, but we're just going to get into it, man. Charlie, Phinci, tell me why you brush your teeth with just water and no toothpaste. Let me know, because I'm curious, man.
So I have two main habits that everybody also has, but I just do mine differently.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't brush with toothpaste, and also I don't wipe my ass after.
The first time you told me this, you remember my reaction to it?
Yeah. I mean, that's a reaction that almost everyone I've said this to gives.
Yeah, because ever since childhood, we've always been advised or forced to brush our teeth with toothpaste and even mouthwash. Sometimes it's even said that water is not enough. You gotta use, a mouthwash. You understand? So, like when you told me that we're just in the car going somewhere, then Finch was like, I haven't brushed my teeth with toothpaste for the past 1 year. I was like, yo, what the fuck?
Yeah, so it started in somewhere around February of last year. So now I'm like a year and some months into my little lifestyle change or an experiment. I don't know what you call it, but it's going well for me. It's going very well.
So let me know what brought about this whole thing. What motivated you to start this thing that you say is a habit now, is a life habit now, daily life habit?
Oh, so you see, I've always been sort of I think there's this word they call an iconoclast.
What was the meaning of an iconoclast?
Someone who is always trying to go against the grain. Like I'm not a big fan of just doing things because
everyone is doing it. So you challenge the status quo, the norm.
Yes, in some way. I like to question things.
Okay.
So I mean, for like some years now, most of the time, what I do is I ask myself, is this the only way that this thing can be done? Right? When you take anything, right? Like for instance, like maybe weddings or building a house, designing your apartment. Normally, there's like the popular way that everybody goes with.
Yeah.
So you have like, okay, if I need to design my apartment, I need furniture.
Yeah.
You need this kind of furniture and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
But then sometimes you might be in a unique situation where you need to think outside the box in order to create the perfect situation for you.
Yeah.
So one thing is I see a lot of people who build houses in Ghana and they put like sliding windows. Most places, for most people, it's not really a good idea. Use louvers because we are in a very hot climate and things like that. So those kind of things, right?
Okay.
They get me asking questions. So I ask myself, brushing of teeth, showering, pooping. Since we were born, they've always told us brush your teeth twice a day, bath twice a day. When you poop, you wipe. But you see, you have to question all these things.
So you're trying to tell me it was just out of sheer curiosity. You're like, let me just try brush my teeth without toothpaste for a certain period of time.
Okay, so I do a lot of research.
Okay.
Like I'm a researcher.
Okay.
And then, so when I say I do a lot of, I don't mean I'm just Googling like random stuff, right? I do a lot of research. And as a researcher, I've come across a lot of different information about different things.
Okay.
And I watch a lot of educational content on YouTube and stuff. So I started searching on some of these things. Like, is toothpaste very necessary? And what led me to that was there was a lot of talk.
Preach, relax. I don't understand how bored were you to the extent that you're just laying in your bed one day, you're like, let me Google. Is toothpaste brushing with your teeth very necessary? Like, did it come to your head that me waking up every day using toothpaste to get out with a brush to brush my teeth is sometimes I feel lazy. So that's what motivated me to actually Google and be it's toothpaste, because it wouldn't cross my mind, honestly. I'm like,
not that. Okay, let me give you a proper background. So I started getting into a lot of information and history about corporations. That's where it all started from.
Okay.
Multinational corporations like Coca-Cola, Nestle, and all these companies. They are multinational. These companies, some of them are more powerful than even certain countries. And even in the most powerful countries like the US, bulk of the power is held by private interests, these corporations. Right?
Yeah.
And so I was looking into their history.
Yeah, these corporations also even fund the campaigns, the electional campaigns. Yes. So it makes a lot of sense what you're saying, though.
Yes. So I found out that one of the main things that these corporations do is they lobby governments. And when they lobby governments, sometimes they put out even misguided advertisements of certain products just because they want people to consume it. And so, and I remember this very well. As a kid, I remember there was a textbook that had a food pyramid, like balanced diet. They were teaching us balanced diet. Yeah. And it had Coca-Cola in the pyramid. I don't remember this because it was, but I remember. And there was this thing like, sweet after meals, desserts is actually part of balanced diet. We were told this. I've read it in books, right? This was long time ago. But now we all know Coca-Cola is not good for you. But how did we get to the point that a government-sanctioned textbook had that in it? It was lobbied by them. And they'll tell you that, Coca-Cola has this amount of calories, it gives you energy boost, blah, blah, blah. Most of these are lies. And the corporations tell these lies to push their products. Sometimes certain products are not even needed, but they create a false need in the minds of people for that. So that was where the whole thing started from. Okay. So I got to know that even baby formula and those things are not even healthy for babies.
So
not all of it. Okay. I mean, there are situations where certain mothers can, but then the idea that, for instance, if you have a baby, your baby must take baby formula. There are people who think that because of how it was marketed, if you're not giving your baby formula, your baby is going to be more nutritioned. Your baby will get kwashiorkor. Especially in Africa, a lot of people have these things in their mind. Okay. Right? And so things like Cerelac. It's as if you don't feed your baby Cerelac. Meanwhile, those things, most of them have been proven now to be part of the causes of the obesity crisis in the US and even now in Africa. Because it gets the children addicted to a lot of sugar and those kind of things.
But are these just your opinions or
research? No, these are all information that you can find. They've even sent these companies, Nestle and those things, to court over this. And they've had to now change certain advertisements and certain things on the labeling and those kind of things. They'll tell you when they're advertising anything, there's a lot of subscript on these products. So sometimes they tell them that you can't use this word to advertise your product because it's so. And that is the thing. Instead of just banning these products, they find, look when it's okay, we won't tell people that it's this, but we'll rather advertise it as this. So there are even certain countries, the name for the product is different from when you go to, I can't remember an exact example, but if you go to this country, they call this product by a certain name. Not like the brand name or anything, but the product itself. But when you go to this other country, it
has a different name.
It has a different name. Right, instead of calling maybe baby formula, they would just be like supplement or something like that. Those kind of things. So I'll go into a lot of this stuff. Yeah, and then I started thinking, maybe toothpaste is a scam because they keep pushing this thing like brush your teeth twice a day. But it looks to me like if I'm selling toothpaste, that's what I'll tell my people: brush twice a day so that you buy more toothpaste. Bath twice daily so you buy more soap. It's like, I feel like, because there are times where I'm in the house, and we are all guys. Let's not pretend. I'm in the house. I'm not going anywhere the whole day. It's not hot. It's a cool day. I'm not sweating. I took a bath the night before, or even I took a bath today because I came back late. I took a bath around 12 a.m. Oh, why should I bath twice? So if I bath twice, it means I bath 3 times.
Even with the bathing thing that you're talking about, I read something some time back, some article B or some. It was just a brief summary of the research, on that
Okay.
article, and it was saying that it is not even advisable for you to bath, like just like I said, twice daily. You understand? It's not even advisable because it's not healthy for the skin. The skin need to maintain some oils
Yes, too much
to keep it
exfoliating.
looking always moisturized. Because every time that you take your bath, your skin gets dry. That is why we use the lotion
Yes.
for the moisturization, that re-moisturization again.
So I believe there's a conspiracy. You see,
Uh-huh.
all these cosmetic people, the soap people will tell you to bath twice. They know it's not good, but you buy more soap. Then after you bath twice, because you've now washed off all the natural oils on your skin, now they'll tell you to now apply this lotion so that it will moisturize your skin. But your skin naturally is moisturizing itself. But you've scraped it all off because the soap people are telling you that. And they do all these pseudo research to come and tell you that research has shown that if you do this, you bath twice daily, or if you eat breakfast, you are less this. All these things, trust me, they are lying to you.
Future realize you let's get back on track with it.
Okay.
So you said for a year and some months now, you've been, so the term is dry brushing. So for a year and some months now, you've been dry brushing without toothpaste, just water. How has the experience been for you? Is this something, because if you've been doing it for a year, 3 months, that means that you have seen some effects that you are satisfied with. That's why you've kept on doing it for this long. So tell me about the experience. Like let us know. Because me, I'm interested.
So the main thing started. So after all this thing, I got to know all this thing, but it really kickstarted. There was a time I was on campus for like some months. I was doing some work. And then one day I was in a hurry to go somewhere. I had run out of toothpaste. So I go into the bathroom. I was like, oh, I don't have toothpaste. Let me just use the brush.
Okay.
So I use the brush to brush normally like I would if I was using toothpaste. I did all that. And I realized my breath was fresh without the toothpaste. I was like, So I left. Then I came back, I was like, so I was like, the next day I was like, okay, let me not use toothpaste again. Let me just brush with a brush, clean my tongue and everything with just the water. And I realized there's basically no difference apart from the momentary mint flavor in your mouth that the toothpaste is giving you. Because that mint flavor, it doesn't last. After you brush your teeth, you have that feeling of freshness in your mouth by the mint.
Yeah, that's not last.
10 minutes, it's gone. Your mouth will just have its natural, neutral smell, right?
But Phinci, one of I think you have forgotten an important part of the reason why we use toothpaste. You said your breath you didn't like your breath wasn't, smelling, right?
Yeah.
So you kept on with it. Okay. But prevention of bad breath is not the only reason why we use toothpaste.
Yes.
To prevent tooth decay, stuff like that. Yeah. Cavity.
You see, that's what the industrial complex wants you to think. You see, Nestle, that's what Nestle wants you to think.
But how? Nestle doesn't produce toothpaste.
Nestle.
They don't produce toothpaste.
Pepsodent. Is Pepsodent not a Nestle? They produce a lot of these.
Okay, for me, I don't have.
I'm using Nestle and PZ Cousins to represent all these people. Coca-Cola. That's what they want you to think. Okay. That you need it. They'll tell you that. I remember there was this advert, close up, then the guy and the girl, they need to shine. And then the crap. Okay. Now, this is the thing. So these are the main advertisement points of toothpaste. When they are doing toothpaste ad, one, fresh breath.
Yeah.
Which I've just told you, you don't need it for.
Yeah.
Number 2, prevent plaque on your teeth.
Yeah.
Actually, toothpaste is less efficient in removing plaque. We'll come to that. Number 3, tooth decay. Now, the tooth decay part, we have to fair. That's what I'm saying. It's an industrial complex. So this like a conspiracy between Coca-Cola and Pepsodent. Let me see. So I'm saying Pepsodent, but you know, toothpaste. Let me just say toothpaste people. Well, it's not just Pepsodent. Toothpaste, close up, Colgate, all the they come and tell you we've done a new super formula. It's a lie. Now, what causes? Let's look at what causes tooth decay. Right. What causes tooth decay is a certain I don't know, it's a fungal or bacteria in your mouth that feeds on sugar.
Yeah.
When it feeds on sugar, it releases a certain acid that can cause perforations on your tooth enamel, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
The dentists, they know, they have all the information on that. Me, I'm not a dentist. But it means that the reason why we have a lot of tooth decay now is mainly because of our diet. We are drinking too much Coca-Cola. We are eating too much hyper-processed food.
What has Coca-Cola done to you? What Coca-Cola?
Coca-Cola yesterday.
You've been saying Coca-Cola for like... You've said it for like over 20 times.
Okay. Sugary drinks. Sugar. You know, as Ghanaians, we use the most popular brand of everything to represent the product itself. Yeah. So when we say Pepsodent, somebody will say, "Me top Pepsodent, me pe close up there."
Yeah.
So forgive me, but okay, I'll use generic terms. So sugary drinks, hyper processed foods, and all that.
Yeah.
So when you take a lot of sugary food, you are feeding those bacteria, and then they are producing, and then that's what's causing the tooth decay.
Okay.
So number one, if you are not taking too much sugar, you are not going to have that problem.
Okay.
Naturally. And then also, a lot of people who are using toothpaste, the number one benefit of it that they're supposed to get, which is to help seal up those gaps, the fluoride. That's what the fluoride is. So if you're using a toothpaste and I tell you that, oh, we have a herbal toothpaste, no fluoride, now it's even worse than the one with the fluoride. Even though people will tell you that fluoride is poison, blah, 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 but there isn't enough fluoride in a tube of toothpaste.
How is fluoride poison? Fluoride is in our water.
Yeah, so fluorine at a certain quantity is toxic. Okay. So there isn't enough fluoride in any tube of toothpaste to be toxic. So that one day, I'll give them that.
All right.
I'll give them that. But even that one, that's what they are saying. We don't even know. You and I don't know how to measure fluorine.
Yeah.
We're only going with what they've written on the label. According to what they've written on the labels, you don't have, there isn't enough. Even if you eat all the toothpaste in the tube, you don't have enough fluoride, whatever.
Yeah, fluoride, yeah.
To cause a problem. So that fluoride, that's the main ingredient that's supposed to help with the not the plaque, with the tooth decay.
The tooth decay.
Do you know that a lot of people, including myself, those people who use toothpaste, I'm sure even maybe yourself, after brushing, what do you do? What's the very next thing that you are brushing?
I rinse my mouth with water.
Exactly. You are not even supposed to do that.
So what are you supposed to do?
You are supposed to leave it in your mouth for the fluoride to have time to work on your teeth. So a lot of people who are even using it for that benefit are not even getting it because they just, so basically you are foaming your mouth and rinsing it and going away. You are just foaming up your mouth, rinsing and going away. Oh, this one, dentists will tell you. So when you brush your teeth, just spit out the excess, leave the rest in your mouth for the fluoride to, back, fix your teeth, which is damaged because of all the bad food you are eating.
Interesting.
Okay. You are not going to get to decay by eating board here.
Interesting.
Okay. So that is another thing. So a lot of people who are even using the toothpaste, the only advantage that they could have had, which is, the fluoride working on their teeth, they are not even getting that one. So you are just foaming up your mouth.
So
leaving and then you think you've cleaned, you've brushed your teeth. You've not done anything.
So basically, it's a scam.
It's a scam, but it's not a scam.
It's not a scam.
It's like that's what I'm saying, the industrial complex. So there are all these things, the sugary drinks companies, the toothpaste people, it's like they are working hand in hand. Whether it's conscious or not, they are all benefiting because you drink the sugary drink, now you need the fluoride because we get fluoride from certain foods we eat. So naturally, your body should already have the ability to repair it. But now we are eating a lot of hyper processed food. So now you need more of it to kind of work. But it only works if you leave it in your mouth for some minutes.
Oh, okay. Because what we know is that once you finish brushing, just immediately,
Yeah,
like
you
2 seconds later,
you
you
know,
brush. So you're supposed to leave it in for some minutes. How
yes,
come that formation is not popular?
because because so if the thing truly works for you, you might not need it all the time. We want you to actually get a tooth decay so that you come to the hospital
Yeah.
to buy drugs. Okay.
Okay.
Otherwise, the whole dentistry industry, I have
Will
friends who are
collapse.
dentists, few friends who are dentists. I don't even know some of them. Otherwise, they don't get money, but I want them to get money. So we tell
Oh,
them.
that's interesting.
And then the thing with, I mentioned something about plaque, removing plaque.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So it turns out that if you brush just with a brush,
Mm-hmm.
it has enough friction and all that to help remove more plaque rather than when you have the toothpaste
Oh, okay.
attached. So there are people who brush twice when they brush. So they'll brush just with a brush for the plaque and order remove excess food and stuff from your teeth. And then after that, they will use the toothpaste and all that. But
Oh.
for me, I just
Use water.
skip all that.
You dry brush.
So whenever if I take a sugary drink, I don't know, I'm reducing it. I've been taking less and less of it.
Okay.
So if I take anything that's like added sugar or anything like that, I just rinse my mouth immediately after I'm done with water to get rid of that.
But you do know that one of the reasons why this method is also working for you is due to the fluoride in the water. Because most of the waters, like most of the water that we drink.
No, I don't know if Ghana have.
Yeah, Ghana has fluoride. Yeah, I think Ghana has
because
fluoride.
I think they had that issue in the US. People made a whole issue about it.
I think Ghana has fluoride in our water.
And all that.
But
Even it's not just the water. That's what I'm saying. It's even in certain foods that we eat.
Oh, okay.
Those are like, they call them essential minerals. So things like iron and those things.
Yeah.
Your body doesn't need them in excess, but it needs certain amounts of them
amounts.
from time to time to do these petty maintenance jobs in our bodies, right? And so that's even a brushing part. So if you really want to clean your teeth. So I know a lot of people, they brush normally, but then you still see plaque developing.
Yeah.
It's part of those things.
Hmm.
It's part of those things. So when I started, it was just water. I got it. I started. Sometimes I use ash or charcoal. But even that, I've not done that in a while because I realized that sometimes those ash and those things, they can also be too aggressive. It's too. So those of you like the teeth whitening, every day you are pouring acid and things in your mouth. Be very careful.
Yeah, I've been hearing
Most
that
people don't have naturally
too much teeth whitening. Yeah, it's not good for your teeth. But I don't know why it's now something
there are very few people who have like really white teeth.
Yeah.
Most people, your teeth is not white naturally. It doesn't mean your teeth.
It's not white. I'm not part of this.
I don't know. It's a video. Unless they see us live physically in town. but mine it has a thing of yellowing and but that's how it's always been. It's not because and so I tell people who know my family when I started all this, I tell them that look, you keep watching. If you see that my teeth is rotten, tell me it's rotten.
Yeah.
And so when I tell them, that's what I tell you. I've not done it for this number of months. I'm like, look at my teeth. It's fine. Look at mine. I talk to you. I don't have bad breath, and I used to struggle with bad breath.
Okay.
And I realized that when I eat things like bread, sugary drinks, and those things, it causes me to. And it's because of that bacteria. It builds up in your mouth. The acid builds. It causes bad breath and the plaque and those things. So I realized that one thing that. So if you're someone who's struggling with bad breath and those things, watch that. If you eat bread and those kind of things, I'm talking about white bread. Rinse your mouth immediately if you don't want any issues. And also, I used to have there was one time there's this woman we are close. She's so one time she took me aside. That was like a year or two ago.
Okay.
It was this bad breath thing. So I didn't know. I brushed that morning. At that time I was using toothpaste and all that. And so she was like, "Oh, I think you should change your toothpaste and all that." And there was this time I switched toothpaste and it became worse.
Interesting.
But when I stopped, and I also used to get gum bleeds and not when I was brushing.
Okay.
It has stopped since I stopped using toothpaste.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's a direct cause and effect. Maybe
Yeah.
some other reason, but
Yeah.
me, I'm telling you what my experience is.
Yeah.
The gum
This is
bleeds,
all about experience, bro. That's how I'm listening.
my gum bleeds have stopped.
Yeah.
Okay. And I rarely, so it's just on a few occasions. And that's when I take a sugar drink and I don't raise my mouth. I realize
Okay.
a few minutes later, I can see that my breath is getting bad. But at first, sometimes, even if normally I'll develop bad breath and those kind of things. But I realized that when I stopped using toothpaste, that thing generally has sort of gone down.
Oh,
So
okay.
I just brush my teeth. I have a tongue scraper because that's one
Yeah.
part that
Yeah.
the
That's one
bacteria
cause.
builds up a lot
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
bad
Yeah.
breath. Clean your tongue.
That one is actually very true. Yeah.
So I use a tongue scraper. Then sometimes when I use a scraper, I'm checking in a mirror. I don't think it's gotten everything. I can use the brush too as well. So when I wake up, I just have my water, my brush.
Charlie, that's an
It's not the
interesting.
toothpaste that cleans your teeth. It's the brushing motion that actually does it.
That's an interesting habit, man. That's crazy. You know, you are the first person to tell me this, Phinci. Like, it's when you told me that, it was so outrageous because it's new. I'm like, ew, what the hell? But you know, after you told me, I also did my own reading because it intrigued me. You know, I was interested. I was like, it piqued my curiosity. I was like, okay, let me get into it. So I did some few like reading into this whole brushing of, and the more I read deeper and deeper, do you know that in the Roman times, during the Roman like civilization, the Roman Empire, them times, and also I think a bit of the medieval times, urine was actually used to like
clean your teeth.
Clean your teeth as a mouthwash and everything. Like urine was it was a huge deal. They used it to like, you know, clean their teeth as a mouthwash. And I was like, yo, crazy. Because in this time, if you're to do that, people would think you're not normal. And you know, they were also using, I know some people will know this, though, you know, they were also using urine as a cleaning agent.
Yeah, I think it's because it has certain properties.
Due to the high ammonia content.
Yeah.
And you know, it was so popular at the point in time that the emperor at the time had to tax urine because people were earning a living out of it. Because they were selling, they said they'll put containers on the road. People come and piss in it. And they'll you know, how do they call it? They'll pour it into bottles, you know, close it up and sell it to people as a mouthwash.
We're still doing that. That would have been nice because now when you're traveling to Accra, when you're traveling to Accra, you want to piss, you go to VIP, they collect 2 cedis. Like by now, VIP should be paying me 2 cedis for me to piss in their bowl so that they can sell it.
Who are they selling the urine to?
We should bring it back. I'm telling you that if Nestle should find out about this idea, before you know it, we are all brushing our teeth with urine. They will advertise it, brainwash everybody to start brushing. Oh, you think they can't do it?
Oh, they can.
If you read history,
they'll find
you'll
some
be surprised. You'll be surprised.
Oh, they can, bro. We live in a very capitalistic.
They'll tell you that we have extracted and we have used fractional distillation to diamondize the Jones. So
you would even notice it.
It's all about adverts lobbying the government.
You told me that whey protein, one of the major.
Oh yeah, they use insects. So basically, maggots, insect larvae, gogome, and the more body gogome will be
You know, if you didn't tell me, I wouldn't have known that.
Oh yeah, gogome.
So I mean, there's some crazy informations out there, man. If you don't read, you know.
But it's interesting with the drone sorting. VIP people, they take on a money too. But back if we were back in the Roman Empire. Now, me just have to do break. I'm this guy, every trip to Accra, I'm doing 2 cities. I told you,
I was like, yo, that's crazy. And Charlie, them times, they had a different perception about what hygiene is. Someone could just throw shit out on the street.
Yeah, and that's particularly in the West. You know, the thing with sanitation and those things, I recently read bits of different article that are talking about this, about how a certain white man from some country, I don't remember the exact country, back in the day came to the Ashanti Kingdom, realized that they had proper toilet facility like WCs and those things, and he had his own hubida because they didn't have it.
When, like, do you know the time or the time period?
That was like pre-colonial, I would say. Pre-colonial, just before colonial.
Interesting.
Pre-colonial, and he wrote a whole book about it. I've not gone into it to read because there's so much information.
Then I'll have to get into that one.
Talk about
how credible
England they had that issue with one of their
rivers.
Yeah,
it became river so things. There's a river things.
Yeah, it became
the great
so smelly
stink.
and all that. But the Ashanti Kingdom, Africa, never had that problem. If you go to real villages, like rural settlements, they have proper ways of keeping sanitation. They don't have WCs and those things, but some of them have pits and those things where they poop, but they are not in where they live. They have like somewhere in the bush. When they get food, they cover it and those kind of things. Sometimes people think that Africans are dirty and those things. That's in the cities. So you see, when you want to have Western development and you don't put down the system the way it's supposed to be, you have things developing like slums and those things. But those things are a result of Westernization, not the other way around. So sometimes people see Zongos and how dirty Accra and those things are, and they are like, oh, Africans are not developed. That's why. No, that is actually a result of trying to Westernize without going through the proper system and those things. Those systems only work when the people are of a certain kind of mindset. So Accra is dirty because in a way they are trying to develop. Like
Phinci today they talk to us.
You let's go now. Let's talk about the main second thing.
Yeah, so let's get down to the second thing.
When I poop, I don't wipe my ass.
So what do you mean by when you are trying to empty your bowels, you don't wipe your ass with toilet roll or tissue?
Yeah, so that one also started around the same time. I realized that first of all, tea roll, the prices kept going up.
People think that you're broke, but you're not a broke guy.
I'm not broke, but I hate buying certain things.
Frugality, yeah.
It's not necessarily frugal.
Yeah.
I like to spend money on other things that our friends, they think that it's a waste of money to spend on those things, but I think those things are more essential than other stuff.
Yeah.
So, for instance, this is like a weird example. I have this friend. When we go to buy food, I'll buy, let's say, beans, 5 cedis. And I'll say, give me cocoa, 2 cedis. I want egg. I want fish. I want sausage. Everything will be like 30 cedis. And when they see that I bought fish, so they're like, hey, they'll say, go. Meanwhile, you, this guy, you buy gobe 15 cedis.
Just the beans and
Just the beans. And then you buy rice, 10 cedis. After that, you buy 1 egg. He thinks you are saved money. Meanwhile, you are eating malnutrition. You are killing yourself.
You see, like
I choose to spend the money on the meat.
People. I've noticed that most Ghanaians look at the quantity, and that's what keeps me satisfied throughout the day. That's what is important. So it is going to be only Gary and just water. And that's what's going to satisfy you.
You not buy milk.
You don't buy milk. It's like it's a waste of time. I mean, everyone.
You know the funny thing with that? Protein is what actually gives you the feeling of fullness. So if you eat carbohydrates a lot, you almost always overeat carbohydrates because you have to eat a lot of it to feel full.
Okay.
But you can't almost overeat protein because you get full. That's the thing a lot of Ghanaians say, and now they will be brand full. That's the feeling of satisfaction. And I bet you can contain 9 cities, really 1 city. Stop, please.
Anyway, that was by the way, man.
Yeah.
But concerning you not, wiping your bum with toilet roll after you shit.
Yeah.
For that one, it's that one. A lot of people do that though, and for with the beauties, they have something called
a bidet
or bidet.
I don't even know where it is. It's BIDET.
Normally, it's a bidet. It's a pronunciation, very French.
Yeah.
So some people use the bidet method. For me, normally when I'm going to bath, most of the time, sometimes when I'm going to bath, I feel like using the tea roll is just a waste of paper and tissue. So I just go straight into the bathroom. I just take my bath and I wash my ass along the way.
Yeah.
And one thing I've noticed that is there's a difference. Trust me, when you use the toiletry as compared to when you use
use water.
Use water. The water makes
It's cleaner.
it makes the crack between your booty cheeks feel. I don't know. It feels lighter, freer. It feels.
That's because
like overall speaking, you just get a great sensation.
that's because what was torrent? The torrent.
It just got a great sensation, man. It's crazy. Like
You see, the
it's
funny
crazy,
thing there.
but I don't really do it as much though.
No, you see, the funny thing about this
Yeah.
is that when I tell people I don't wipe my ass when I poop, what do you do? I'm like, I wash with water.
Mm.
That means that you have to use your hand
Yeah,
and the water. If you don't have
yeah,
a bidet, or even if the bidet is not spraying with enough pressure,
yeah.
you have to use your hand. And they think, ew, it's nasty. And I'm like,
Uh,
when you go to the toilet and you wipe with the toilet paper, when you come out, you still have to wash your hands. Now,
Yeah.
you know that even science shows that no matter what you do,
Yeah.
the germs have
The
gotten
germs
on
are-
your hands.
yeah, and even with the water, it takes like 90% of the stink from your butt.
Yes.
But with the tissue, you can
No, the
wipe
tissue
wipe-
leaves residues. No matter what you do,
No matter what you do, like
still the turret is in your ass. It's in
Yeah.
your butt crack.
yeah, that's crazy.
So I tell people that people who actually wipe with tissue, for me, are dirty. They are nasty. Because you are walking around public
but
with poop
Fitch
in your butt crack.
is just it's
No, there's poop. It's even there poop in your butt crack.
yeah, but I think it's but that's the whole point of the inner hole. But you see, the thing is that
No, it could be
The
cleaner.
thing is that the tea roll is convenient because it's not everywhere that you get. Let's say
That's what I'm saying.
you're out somewhere.
No, it's the
You're
industrial
supposed to use
complex.
a public restroom. Why are you going to wash
That's
your
what
hands?
Nestle wants you to take. You see, once again,
Eh,
they are saying it's more convenient and all that. First of all, in terms of hygiene, the water is cleaner
yeah, the water
because
is
it actually washes the thing
for that one, I
away.
agree. It's cleaner. If you have the
Oh, and the feeling of
you
freshness.
have two of those both options.
You
use the
know,
water.
I'll say
Use
this.
the water. And
I'll,
soap too.
I'll say this. There was a time, I play basketball sometimes,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
even, it's hot. The weather is hot.
Yeah,
So you sweat a lot
yeah,
in your butt crack and
Yeah.
those kind of things. And I noticed that your butt crack, it really smells.
of course it is.
If you like do this experiment, when you go about your day and everything, come back. Not your anus,
yeah,
like the butt crack itself.
itself.
Especially usually above the anus.
Oh,
That
okay, I
part.
see what you're talking about. Yeah,
You see that it sweat, bro. It smells so bad.
but how?
But that thing, listen, that thing, I realized that. So me, for instance, I have a big butt. For a man, I have a big butt.
Oh man, Ghanaians most
Ghanaians, we have big buttocks.
very beautiful ass.
So our cheeks are always tight.
Yeah,
Our cheeks are tight. So there's more sweat. There's more.
yeah.
So people who wipe with their tissues,
Mhm.
they always have the poop remaining there,
Yeah.
mixing with your sweat and all the bacteria and all that. So it always smells really bad.
Okay.
That thing stopped when I stopped using the.
Obviously, yeah. So when you stop using
When I stopped using
you started using the water.
tissue paper.
Yeah. No, we started using water.
When I started washing with water instead, I realized
Yeah,
that
soap, yeah.
when I go about the whole day
Mm.
and then I come back, I'm like, this thing it has changed.
But Charlie, I can see you're someone who is very much aware and you like to just like you say, you try out things. Yeah, that's
I
interesting.
try. I like to observe things, and like I said, I also like to question things.
Mm.
Okay, and so I found out that it's actually cleaner. Then I got into researching again,
As usual.
and I got to realize about
Get more
bidets and all that.
information, yeah.
The bidets became very popular in the US, I think, because of COVID.
Oh, okay.
COVID, they had a shortage of tissues and those
Oh
kind of
yeah,
things.
yeah,
Everyone was
yeah,
grabbing
yeah.
them.
Everyone was grabbing
So
them.
people were like, we can use the water. And I'm like, duh. Muslims have known this forever.
For ages, man.
And and I realized that it's actually much better.
Oh
So
yeah,
what I do is, in cases of
I'm
emergency,
not gonna lie.
so most of the time when I'm going places, I carry bottles. I have water bottles,
Mhm,
empty water
mhm.
bottles in my bag that I will use when I get to the place. I fetch from the sink, go in there, do whatever I want to do, wash with it. Right now, in the over 1 year that I've stopped using it, I've had to use it like maybe twice.
Okay.
In a case of emergency, there was no water, that kind of thing, I'll use it. Now it's not like I'm not going to be walking around with poop chunks of poop in my butt. But the funny thing is, because I've gone so long without it, those 2 times I had to do that, I felt so nasty when I was walking around. It's like I'm walking around with poop in my butt crack. It felt so nasty. I didn't feel clean.
Yeah,
and that is the change that you experience.
Yeah, yeah.
Recently, I think some months ago, I was like, let me try toothpaste. It felt so nasty in my mouth.
I mean, you've gotten used to your lifestyle. So
Is that but I've realized that this is how you're supposed to live life. All the chemicals, and another thing about using the tissue, some of them are very rough. Now, most of you don't have enough money to afford the super soft ones. Most of the ones that we all buy, Charlie, it's like sandpaper. Remember, we used to have one rose toilet roll, bro. That thing was like high grade sandpaper.
But some of them, you see, funny enough, they price them based on
the softness
and the roughness.
Yes,
the roughness are cheaper.
Yes, so the ones that most of the time you see in traffic, that we know 99.9% of you people use is the hard one, and that one sometimes it causes. So I remember that when I used to have this problem when I had diarrhea, where you have to keep multiple times, and you keep wiping.
It becomes sore. So tell me, have you had diarrhea where when you started cultivating the practice of using water? Is there any time where you had diarrhea?
Yeah, I've had several times. So because I ate something bad.
Yeah. So how did it feel like? Using water.
Yeah, I just rinsed. No
soreness.
No soreness.
Oh, interesting.
And all that. Even comfortably and freshly. And this is especially you ladies, you should adopt that. You should adopt that because it's even much more beneficial for the women. The women, because you know how their places and all that. And then some of you, I've not experienced some before. Some guy told me that he went to a room with a lady and they're about to fornicate. And he saw a rolled up thing, piece of toilet roll that it was brown.
I saw
in her butt crack. And I was like, well, you deserve it first of all, so you have to but also challenge the yawa.
I saw this thing on this funny reel on this Instagram where it was like a meme. So the guy was like, when you are dogging a girl, you have to power through the stench of it, the stink from the backside. But because it's feeling good, you gotta power through.
What? He deserves it for fornicating.
Probably if you're using water. And when I went into the comment section, a lot of guys were relating.
Sometimes I've heard a lot of
guys were relating.
They've seen
they were saying especially the big booty girls. You see,
that's what I'm saying. If you have chicks,
if you have, because it was
like me. Wash with water, please.
Bro, the guys giving the doggy style, giving the almost 90, the 90 degrees position. He did fire, but Charlie, I said they fire the thing nice. He said the sting just hit the top. Boom.
Now that guy won't
have
that guy won't have that through. He won't have that problem if it's his wife. If it's your wife, you can tell her, honey, this is it.
Yeah.
But it's not your wife too, so look at how you're suffering.
Yeah, man.
And imagine if your fan is blowing. You are downwind.
So what you're saying, I feel like it would be nice if that one becomes the popular practice. Using water to.
Oh yes.
With soap too. Don't forget the soap. But anyways, yeah. Charlie, this conversation has been crazy, man. A lot of unpopular opinions, outrageous stuff said here and there. But that's the whole point, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point. But I'm saying that my quality of life has gone up by doing these two things. Now there are a few other things that I'm trying to also adopt. Like when I'm telling you things like they tell you eat 3 times a day and those things. All those things were pushed by corporations.
Anyways, yeah. This has been a very interesting conversation.
Yeah. So last, stop using toothpaste. Stop wiping your as when you poop.
Yeah.
And your life will be 10 times better.
Mm.
10 times better.
From Phinci, guys. From Phinci. From Phinci. Man. Anyways, yeah, this is Volks, man. This is Phinci. And I'll see you on the next episode, man. Peace.
Yeah.